Hello, welcome to video number one uh, of my channel, and video number one also of a short series playing with the SimH set of emulators. That's the historical simulators or the computer history simulator project. I'll put some links in the description. Uh, this is a really cool emulator that lets you emulate a lot of the old Digital Equipment Corporation machines, even things like the Altair, the DG Nova. If you want to get this, there are probably packages for your Linux distro. It's going to be in the BSD port system, or the packages will be available. Um, Windows, there's probably a binary download. I do recommend you get the latest from GitHub and build it yourself with the latest code, which is the 4.0 beta. It has some nice new features. So let me just pull this down here, do a little demo, show you how quick and easy it is to get up and running. So let's take a look at the directory listing. The SimH set of emulators is really fantastic code. It's well thought out, well coded. You can really understand and learn a lot looking at the code here. And also, if you want to build your own emulator, it's a great starting point if you wanted to add a system. So you see here some of the systems. You get the PDP-11, the PDP-10. You want to run TOPS, the VAX. Some later episodes we're going to talk about OpenVMS and VAX. But for the time being, let's make a couple of DEC machines. We'll make the PDP-8 and the PDP-11 binaries. And typically the make file will default to build all the targets, but we'll just do these two to get started. A couple of libraries you're going to need, the development libraries for SDL, the direct media, and PCAP if you want to do networking. You don't need that, but again, for the PDP-11 and VAX especially, if you want to put a networking stack, network OS like OpenVMS or one of the BSDs, yeah, you can run both NetBSD and OpenBSD on the VAX. And then, of course, there's the classic Unix, and we'll take a look at that here in a few minutes. So again, building all the targets will take a few minutes. We're just going to build these two machines as a way to kind of get started and take a look. So run your make. You'll get some binaries out of this. And we'll take a look at running one of them. Like I say again, I don't have any experience on the Windows side, but should be pretty easy to get a Windows binary. So for the PDP-8, let's take a look at OS 8. I don't know a whole lot about OS 8, but it was a basic, floppy disk based operating system for the PDP-8, which is an old 12-bit mini computer. Probably came out in the mid 60s, I think. Originally 4 kilowords of 12-bit memory. Let's fire up the PDP-8 emulator. And you'll see SimH has a great, very intuitive command system. So you can actually do things like load data direct into memory, examine the registers, examine the memory. So let's take a look at the program counter starting at 0. You can single step, do a lot of debugging operations. But let's just take a look here. Started it too soon. Yeah, so I just want to make sure I remember what the disk image name is. Let's go back into SimH, and we're going to attach one of these floppy images of OS 8. Because it's so small, it can put it all in memory, and we'll boot into that. Here we're up in OS 8. So this is a pretty simple, basic single-user operating system. Again, we're talking about a machine that, in its largest configuration, had 32K of memory. Let's try it basic. And we got our program in here. Save it, and we'll run it. So, a little bit of development environment. I believe Fortran is also available, and again, assembler. And the nice things about assembly language on the PDP-8 is because it is such a simple machine, you really can remember all the opcodes pretty easily. The important key combination here on SimH is Control E, and that'll drop you back to the emulator control. And you see, again, you can run these commands. One of the reasons I recommend version 4, the version 4 beta that we're running here of SimH, is it allows for a lot more commands in the command shell. So you can do conditionals. As you see here, we got expect, so you can actually interact with the machine that's running to do some basic stuff there. Test benches, for example. So that is, and you can also resume the execution of your virtual emulated target. That is OS 8 on the PDP-8. Let's take a look at Unix version 5. Really old Unix. This is for the PDP-11. Digital's really famous 16-bit mini that was from, I guess, the early to mid 70s in production all the way through the 90s. I mean, just a classic machine. And so for SimH, you can define an initialization file. You name it whatever you want, but if you give it the name of the simulator binary, so here's the machine pdp11.ini, it'll automatically pick up the file name. So this is just the commands that you would enter at the simulator control console that are just executed sequentially to set up your machine. This will become a little bit more important as we go into more complicated setups, but this is pretty simple. We just define the CPU type, attach a disk image, and boot the media. So let's give this one a whirl. So again, really fast access on these older machines. So let's boot Unix. And we're getting in as root. So here is classic Unix version 5. And my key maps aren't correct. But you'll see it's not a very expansive Unix distro here. So this is pretty basic. Now the VAX emulator can do some more advanced Unices, particularly the classic BSD distributions on VAX, but also again the modern NetBSD and OpenBSD. The VAX can also do OpenVMS, which we're going to spend a few videos on later in this series. But the PDP-11 also has a lot of fun operating systems that can be run. You have RT11, RSX 11, I think CAPS 11 is an interesting one I haven't tried. And we'll spend some time on those in future videos. But until next time, thanks for watching.